Hey everyone, MJ here, and in this video I wanted to review Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise Origins, a mouthful for a game name, but surprisingly, I actually really did enjoy and love this game. The gameplay is surprisingly just amazing. The graphics from Final Fantasy games, which I've expected to be already amazing as well. The story, surprisingly good. I started the game and I didn't really care much for the characters. I was kind of skipping through a lot of the cutscenes, but like about a third of the way through, I started getting attached to the characters, and for a seemingly short game as well, like 10 hours, I still really enjoyed the game. I actually loved it a lot. I got really connected with the characters, and the story fucked me up. I did cry, and that's something I can't really say about a lot of other games that I've only played for 10 hours, which really surprised me. But this is also a video about if you should play this game in 2024. Now, the game is in PS Plus, so that's kind of like a quick barrier to entry. To my understanding, it also goes on sale. It's on all platforms. It is a very good game. I highly recommend this game. It is short though, right? So I'm not going to recommend you buying it for full price, because unless you like spending, $50, $60, $70 and you're okay with a 10-hour game, I'm personally not. So in PS Plus, I was actually really excited to start this one, and I loved it. Like, everything about it. I actually didn't dislike anything about it. It felt like a third person Doom to me a little bit, especially with like the finishers they do when you lower an enemy's like shielding, and then like you'll just do some red crystal shit, as you can see on the screen. It's honestly really badass. The music as well was fucking great, but we're gonna, kind of just get really into the review because I'm just rambling now. The game's story follows Jack, a man on a mission to kill Chaos. Now, when I tell you that this is actually a really badass story, I fucking mean it. It is a man on a mission to fucking kill. The boss battles as well throughout the game are absolutely amazing, and honestly, I like Jack's chemistry with all the other characters. I thought they were really well done, and surprisingly well written, to be honest, especially for a very like chill character, like a very monotone character. He doesn't express a lot of feelings except anger. You'll see a lot of anger coming out of Jack, but there were some parts of the game where I felt like, holy fuck, I'm Jack, like I'm literally him, where someone would be going on this long tangent about something and Jack's like, no 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 no, can you fucking just skip to the good part? And it's like, holy shit, this man is what's gonna save me from this fucking game. And then that happened like in the start and the middle too, which I was not fully into, but I'm really happy that there's a character like Jack that's like, you know what, let's just fucking do it, okay? I don't give a shit about your 40-minute monologue and your 20-minute cutscenes. I just want to get into the gameplay, boss fight cutscene at the start, cutscene at the end, and we're getting straight into the gameplay. It's so much fun for that reason. And when I say the game's combat feels like Doom, but like third person, I fucking mean it, alright? It's challenging. It is fun and also rewarding. Okay, the loot you get out of it, and I was actually really surprised when I saw this. All of the customizable, like armors. Now, this might be a thing in all Final Fantasy games, but I want to make it clear. This is like the third game that I've played out of Final Fantasy. I've played Remake, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think I've played a little bit of 15. I didn't like it that much, and then I'm playing this one. But all of the armor that you have shows in the cutscene, so you can better believe when I'm in like this full knight armor, or I look really badass, or if I'm wearing some weird shit, look like a cowboy hat, I look like ass. And it was really funny though, because at one part of a mission and a cutscene, I'd be like this full knighted armor, and the second part I'd be in like some cloak with like a cowboy hat, and it offered a funny moment for myself. I'm laughing at myself like, wow, my armor looks like shit. And it is a game though where it shows, look, especially if you auto-equip, it's a game where, look, you will look ridiculous, but it's the stats that you need, right? Or sometimes you'll look badass, and it's the stats that you need. Or you can go fine-tune it, obviously, and I think there's a bunch of different upgrade systems. I didn't play around with that. I kind of just pushed through the game and auto-equipped, because I was not in the mood to play a 40-hour game when I'm also playing, like a dragon, and when I'm also trying to play more games recently. The environments and enemy types as well were actually really surprising to me. The first few missions kind of reused a lot of them, but like every mission after that, every mission had a new enemy type or two, which is actually really surprising. And then it gets really good when you have the animation with like the crystal attack when you do a finisher. Usually every single time I fought a new enemy, it would play like an actual cutscene with the finisher, so like it would give me a different camera view. But then after that, it'd be a mix in between. It would give me different camera views, and then it would just be normal third person doing the animation, which I thought was cool because it's like introducing me to a new enemy and a new animation. And I don't know if that was intentional or if that's just like the way my playthrough went, but I thought that was actually really cool. And I've read up that there's a bunch of iconic Final Fantasy creatures. I saw a cactus one, which I'm guessing is one, because like it didn't do a lot of damage. It kind of just ran around like a little bitch. But like, and when you kill it, it's also, there was another one where you just put your hand on it when you have its finisher and it just blows up. I don't remember the name of it, but it was actually a really funny enemy, because I'm like fucking chasing this thing around and I put my hand on it and it just explodes, and I'm like, All right, shit. I mean, again, like a lot of fun with a lot of great variety of those enemy types, right? And a bunch of those cool ones that can drop a lot of loot. And the fucking loot in this game, holy shit. Although, like, the one issue I have was the lack of, like, cool looking swords, in my opinion. Like, there were a bunch of swords, a ton. But, like, they didn't offer many big differences except, like, handles or, like, a blade, right? There was just blades and handles, which I get is really the sword. But the swordsman was also the main build I also went for in the game, and I mean, I was fine with it. I think I went with mage for a little bit as well, just because I kind of had to for certain like parts of the map where I had to open up other parts. But I mean, there's like a lot of selection here. Like you can go axes and shields. I played with a little bit as well. There's a lot of selection here. If you don't want to just go sword, there's a lot of other options you can choose from, which is cool. And I'm guessing for replayability's sake as well, because I'm pretty sure the game is New Game Plus. So there's a lot of replayability here, and if you really enjoyed the story and want to go through it again with upgraded characters and all that other shit, you have that option. The game is also very weird with its dialogue within missions, okay? Like, the one thing I'll give is that the characters are really cool. I do actually like the characters a lot, but the dialogue in between missions, like when we're running around, it can get weird and it got very repetitive. I don't want to, like, I can't imagine having to hear, look, there's a cube every 5 fucking minutes when we find a checkpoint. I swear to God, there was no difference in the dialogue. It was always, look, there's a cube, look, there's a cube, look, there's a cube, look, there's a cube. And it's like, please shut up. I know there's a cube. I have eyes. You don't need to say it. For the first 5, 6 times, understandable. Doing it for the entire 10-hour game, it's so unnecessary, and it pissed me off every time I found a checkpoint because it was the most annoying voice dialogue I've ever had. So stuff like that, it's more like gameplay. It wasn't really being written, but like whatever design choice they were like, okay, let's get them to fucking yell at you, there's a cube every time you get near one. It's like, please shut up. Like, please shut up. Like, I get it. I see it. I'm not blind. It shrinks when I go near it. So obviously I'm going to notice it. But that's not even like the biggest problem I had with some of the written dialogue as well. But a lot of like jokes didn't land with me. I don't know. They just weren't funny. Like there were some funny ones, but like a lot of the dialogue, I don't know, it wasn't that great. Like the story itself was fantastic, but like it's mainly just the dialogue between characters in the actual missions itself. But in all the cutscenes and in the story entirely, it was great. Just like some of the little one-liners they had were just not that good, and I just didn't like it a lot. I looked into it as well, and apparently the game had a lot of technical issues and bugs that affected the performance and graphics of the game. I'm happy to report there's like none of that here, okay? Like I didn't find any bugs. I didn't crash once. There were no technical issues I had. The frame rate was a solid 60 on my PS5. It played fantastic, okay? It looked beautiful as well. A lot of the environments looked gorgeous, and I was really happy that I was able to play, a short game that just looks beautiful, plays well, and it was decently well written between the dialogue. And I mean, I really enjoyed the story as well, and I'm really happy to report that. So if you do want to play a game like this, with all these good, just there's so much good in this game, and I have to say though, there's so much good to this game. Like there's a lot of side content too that I didn't even play. Like I did some, but I didn't do a lot. Like every time you complete a main mission, there's like fucking 20 billion side quests that open up. I'm like completing a main mission. It's like side mission is open, side mission is open, side mission is open. I'm like, okay, holy shit! Like I'll do a few of them just to get some levels and to grind a little bit. But there's actually a lot of content and a lot of dialogue here that I bet I missed, and I bet like I could go through in a different playthrough. I probably won't because I usually with these games I do one and dones, but if you play this game more than once, you're probably going to be missing a decent amount of dialogue, especially if you don't play through every single side mission your first playthrough, right? If you want to get New Game Plus, then go through it again, or if you just want to rush through the story, New Game Plus, then go through it. There's a lot of option here for replayability, and that just the amount of side missions, I mean, you could probably put this game up to 20, 30, 40 hours just because of all those missions. And I just want to also add that the graphics, fucking gorgeous. Okay, the music as well, holy shit, the music was fucking bopping, like every time, just fucking like snapping my fingers to it, bobbing my head. Like a lot of it was great. The main soundtrack for this game, absolutely amazing in my opinion. I have no really quirks about it. I think it's great. I mean, usually for a lot of games, the music is one thing that you really can't fuck up because it's the thing you're listening to in gameplay, like more than the dialogue. And they did a great job here, in my opinion. I think Square Enix did a fantastic job with the music. Now, I've only done this in one of my game reviews, but if you did actually ask me what my score would be on this game, I'd give it a 9 out of 10, okay? It's not a perfect game. It is short, so that kind of, I'd say, would limit it, and the dialogue as well kind of irritated me, but It's not a perfect game, but it is a very good game, and I do highly recommend it at a discounted price point or at a PS Plus, download, because it is a fantastic game. I do highly recommend it. It's a lot of fucking fun, especially once you have all the good gear and you start ripping through enemies and just killing everybody. It's a lot of fun, but yeah, that's my score in the game. I give it a 9 out of 10. Overall, if you're looking for a shorter game, you have a PlayStation, you've never played this game as well, I mean, I think it's a perfect time to jump into this game. I think it's fantastic personally. It is short again. There's not a lot of low barrier to entry, especially if you're on PlayStation. PS Plus is just download the game, try it out. Even if you hear my, recommendation of this game, which I think is fantastic, you try, you don't like it, it's completely fine. Just uninstall. It's not like you're spending $50, $60 in the game. And I do highly recommend this game though, because this is a hidden gem. I remember when it launched, I did want to get it, but I just, I didn't want to pay full price for it. It just didn't look like a game that I would pay full price for. So me finally being able to play it, I'm really happy that I have, and I actually do love it a lot. Like, I'm very happy I played this game. I do enjoy this game a lot. I thought a lot of just everything was amazing. I mean, I'm not going to start repeating myself, but a lot of the game was amazing, and I'm super happy I tried it. I am very glad for PS Plus allowing me to try this. Sony has been doing actually really well with PS Plus lately, I want to add. So my next, kind of JRPG game probably will hopefully be Like a Dragon and then Tales of Arise. Those will be my next two big reviews. But if you did enjoy this video, consider leaving a like, sharing, commenting, and subscribing if you so choose to, and I'll see you all in the next video.